So hello everyone, welcome to another video. Uh, this is the SOC level 2 roadmap on TryHackme, and we are doing a really deep dive hands-on labs on the Splunk specifically. Before this I did a SOC home lab setting up SOC in Windows and Linux machine. Today we are going to do as in front of you, you can see the Splunk dashboard and report. So it is a kind of easy room with a 90-minute of duration, and the introduction is at so Splunk is one of the most widely used SIEM solution in the enterprise environment. It helps aggregate data from different data sources in the enterprise environment to help enhance security monitoring. However, sometimes this data becomes too overwhelming for analysts. In this room, we will learn how an analyst can better organize data in Splunk. Broadly, we will have the following learning categories. Why do we need to organize data in Splunk? Creating dashboard for visualization of high-level information, and then scheduling reports for recurring search of data, then translating SOC use cases to alert. So let's get into this room. So now the task 2 is organizing data in Splunk. Splunk does a great job of aggregating the security related data of an organization's asset in a single place. However, this data is huge, difficult to grasp and make sense of. While we learn how to make sense of the data in this room, not while we will learn how to make sense of data in this room. So we will learn how to make sense of data in this room. So when we open Splunk, this is the screen we might be greeted with after signing in. Exactly. And to move forward, go to the first tab on the left menu and search and reporting. Clicking that, we see the following interface. Definitely over clicking. When we click here, we will see this dashboard. Okay. Next is, now we can see that we have interface for search app. Yes. For starter, we can start a search with search term index to see what data we have here. We have set the time window to all time. So if I scroll a bit down in this screenshot, we can see the time window is set to all time, and in search we have index is equal to asterisk, which means including all the results from the index. Great. Now next is, looking at the above screenshot, we can feel overwhelmed. There are more than 35,000 events present in this data. If we are to sift through this data manually, it will make our lives difficult instead of making them easier. Therefore, looking at raw data is often not a good idea when our goal is to get an overview of an organization's security posture. It also doesn't give us much information about the threats and attacks launched against the organization. Now, this is just a sample of data in Splunk we that we have added for this room. Now, in the production, we should avoid running searches for all time as they can add undue load on Splunk search head and make other searches difficult and slow. The above-mentioned problems are bound to appear when we deal with a lot of data. Splunk is a data analysis platform that provides solution for this problem. In the coming task, we will see how to aggregate and visualize this data to find answer to our problem. Perfect. So now let's visit this place. Oh, sorry, this website. Okay. So next is continuing from the previous task. Move to the report tab to look at the already saved reports in the Splunk. Sure. So let's go to search and reporting. Go to reports. And we do have a lot of reports. One is error in last 24 hours. Error in the last hour. License usage, data cube, messages by minute, and many more. Next it says, here we see a list of reports already saved in Splunk. If we want to view the saved results of a report, we can click on the report name. For example, if I want to see errors in last 24 hours, I can just click on the report name. And this is the report. Now it has 0 events, but this is the way to open a report, right? Okay. And next is, however, if we want to run a new search using the same query as the one in the report, we can use the open in search option, this one. So let's click open in search. So you see this search field is automatically filled with the query which is used to generate that report. The edit option allows us to edit report. This one. The next schedule time tab show when the report will run again. So it is right now it's on the none. And we can also see the report's owner and its associated permissions. Please note that we have selected all reports to be shown in the view above. There are options for viewing only the logged in user reports as well as for viewing the reports added by the app. To create a new report, we can run a search and use the save as option to save the search as a report. So to create, yeah, so next is once we click the option to save as report, we'll see the following window. Okay, so let me click on this. My bad. I want to click open in search so that I can save this search. So I'll go to save as report. Yes. Now filing in the required data and clicking the save option here will save the search report, giving the title, description, and the time range picker. Yes or no. So let's practice the same in the attached Splunk instance. We ran a search in the previous task. To create a report on a search, we will first have to understand the data. So on the left tab, we will see some fields Splunk has identified that might interest us. Let's click on the host to see the number of hosts sending log to our Splunk instance. Okay, so let's clear this one and go with index asterisk. Yes. Let's go to host. So I think there are in total three number of hosts. First is network server, second is web server, and one is VPN server. So next it says, so we have three hosts. As I said, these three, they are all sending different number of events. If we are to determine the number of times each VPN user logged in during our given time window, which is all time for this room, we will run the following query. So let's go and run this query. Host is equal to VPN server stats count by username. So there are 15 total users. So In a SOC environment, we might want to track user who logged in during a certain time window. This requirement might be repetitive. SOC analyst can create a report of this requirement uh, that will run a few hours for ease of use. Let's practice that based on what we learned in this task. So let's click on the Save as report, and okay, let's give it a name which is given here, VPN users. Description is yes, number of times each user logged in, of course. And next it says, here we can see the content of this report will be statistics table. Yes, because we use stats count in our query. The time range picker has been set to yes, and this means running the report will give us a time range picker option when we will click save. Okay, and we get the following prompts telling us the report has been created. So let's click save. It says your report has been created. Definitely. Now we can click view option to view our report. It will look like this. On the report tab, we can see our report now. Okay, let's go to report tab, and it is here. VPN user. We see the owner of the report is admin, definitely. The sharing is set to private. This means that this report can only be accessed by admin. We can use the edit option to change the permission and set it to be used by other users. So let's do that. Click on edit, edit permissions. Let's click on all apps. Now as we can see, my bad. So after setting the permission, now it is now it is showing global, right? Before this it was on private here, and I just moved this window to the left so we can see clearly the options, otherwise it was hidden besides my webcam, right? Okay, so let's move to the questions. So create a report from the network server log host that lists the port used in the network connection and their count. What is the highest number of times any port is used in the connection? Okay, let's click on the search. I think host is equal to network server. Port used query in Splunk. So here it is Splunk query for port scan. In Splunk. Destination port state open. How to write a search to output a table showing open port by host. No. It's not open port, it is just list the port used in the network connection. So I can use nmap to scan the open port and just count them by their number, right? So how to use command in to search port. We don't have the IP address of the destination or the source, right? So I think one way is to use asterisk, but we want to do more open search of the ports, right? There must be an query for that. What if I type here and map? Oh,
This is often done in preparation of an attack or during the next phase of an ongoing attack. Normally, this activity should only ever happen from authorized sources internally, for example, testing for vulnerabilities. So you should be aware if someone is doing it who should not be. Start by looking at our firewall logs. Next, we use the stats command to give a distinct count of destination ports and IP addresses being contacted by a source. Finally, we filter the results where a source has contacted more than 500 destination IPs or destination ports. As you can see, in this result, the scan is coming from an internal source. This is usually an indication that a host is infected, and we need to start an incident response to understand how it's happening. Outside scans are not as important and also difficult to respond to in any meaningful way. Many people filter out these results once they are identified. A report or dashboard can be created if we want to monitor for this on a regular basis. We can also save our search as an alert to notify us the next time this happens.
okay, let's use this command. Let's give this host. Also index index equals asterisk 20,000 5 events. Okay, list the port used in network connection. So from the port, we have this value. For this particular value, count 5. Highest number may be 5, that's fine. But how do I create a report for it? Like, is this query is right? Least port, then I think port equals asterisk and no. Okay, I'll go with post asterisk. Why does it mention all these as well? So next question is related to creating reports. So it says, while creating reports, which option do we need to enable to get to choose the time range of the report? So it must be time range picker. Great. This is network server report scan this report list of the port used in the network logs. Okay, so third task is completed. So task 4 is creating dashboard for summarizing results. So Splunk provides us with the ability to create dashboards and visualizations. These dashboard and visualization provide a user with quick info about the data present in the Splunk dashboard are often created to give a brief overview of the most important bits of data, right? And they are often helpful in presenting data and statistics to the management, such as the number of incident in a given time frame, and or for SOC analysts to figure out where to focus, such as identifying spikes and drops in data sources, which might indicate a surge in, say, failed login attempts, right? And then the primary purpose of dashboard is to provide a quick visual overview of the available information. So to move forward, let's create a dashboard in the attached VM. So to start, move to dashboard tab and we will see below screen. Definitely. Let's go to search and report. Click on dashboard. Now in this screen, we see an option to create dashboard label as one in screenshot. Yes, it's over here. And label 2 as a list of available dashboards. Please note that we have selected all dashboard here instead of your or this apps, which can show a different list of dashboards. Labeled as 3 is the information about these dashboards. So all this is the information. And now such as owner permissions, right? Here we also find the option to edit dashboard and dashboard's different property or set it as an home dashboard. However, we don't have any dashboard yet. We can start by creating a dashboard. For that, let's click the dashboard option to see the following window. Definitely. Let's click on create new dashboard. And so after filling the relevant details such as name and permission, we can choose one of the two options for dashboard creation through classic dashboard or dashboard studio. Yes. So let's create, for example, VPN user. This dashboard will list VPN users logged in, permission shared in app, and we can see that we have set the permission to shared in app, yes, and this will ensure that the dashboard is also visible to other user of Splunk. Okay, so we will use the classic dashboard approach to create a dashboard for this room. Okay, let's click on classic. Let's do that and let's create the dashboard. The window tells us to click on the panel to start. And when we click add panel option, we get following on the right side. Yes. Next, we want to add result from report to the dashboard. We can select the new report option to do that. Okay. New from report. To add dashboard option, we'll add these results from our dashboard. However, we already seeing the result as a report. What benefit will a dashboard provide us? The answer to that is visualization. We can select visualization from the menu as shown below. Okay, so if we select, let me first create and report. Because I have restarted the VM, after task 3, I have no report. So for this, we will create a report for VPN users. So I want to only list the username, right? And let me do a Google search. Uh, only, so how I can filter output to display only user results? that? Stats count. Yes. Now let's create a report for this. It is going to be VPN users. List all the username. Let's click save. View. Next, we are going to go to dashboard. Now we can continue with this activity. Create new dashboard. They are not like exactly VPN users. For the sake of this demo, we are going to name it as VPN user, VPN users logged in. View shared in app classic dashboard. Click add panel. New from report. VPN users. Yes. The add to dashboard option will add this result to our dashboard. So let's click on add to dashboard. Great. However, we were already seeing the result as well. What benefit will dashboard provide us? So I already read this, like the answer to that is like in visualization, right? So let's select column chart visualization and check out the results. So we can visualize data in different modes using dashboard, right? If I select row and column, you can see it will show like this. Let's select the column chart visualization. This one. So as this report is a bit different, so it is not exactly showing the VPN result, it is just saying the usage here, right? And but it should look like this. And this is the command. Okay, I want to edit the report and give it this command. Let me go again here. Copy paste. Go to reports. I cannot modify the command itself. Oh no, I will click in open in search. Give it host is equal to VPN server. Right? And then save as again VPN users 2. Let's name it 2. Go to dashboard. Wait, let me give it the exact command. So that is stats count by username. Should save this command or no? No, right? One thing I will do is we'll create another report. Now let's save it as VPN user 3. Fine. Let's go to dashboard. Create new dashboard. VPN user 3 classic. Click on add panel. New from report. VPN user 3. Add to dashboard. Great. Click here. Go to column. It's showing the same result. I don't know. It should show count here instead of usage. Wait, let's delete all these reports. Let's create a new report, this time VPN user. No need to give description again as we know it already. So let's click view, go to dashboard. Let me quickly delete all these dashboards. Great. Click on create new dashboard, VPN user. It will list VPN user logged in. So VPN users logged in. Permission shared in app classic dashboard. Let's create this dashboard. Click on add panel, go to new from reports, VPN user, add to dashboard. Let's go to visualization, select column chart, and there you go. Now we have nice representation of every user and their counts, like Alice logged in 6 times, and if we want to know the Sarah, she or he logged in 11 times. Now it becomes easy to make sense out of data and to get what we exactly want. So we can, as an SOC analyst, just check the uh, data through visualization and quickly came to the result that Sarah is the person who has the most number of logged in through the VPN. So if I'm investigating something, or I want to get some uh, evidence, or I want to get through an investigation, right? This is a great starting point. Okay, so it says, doesn't it look nice? Yes, it looks nice. We can see cursory glance that Emma logged in the least amount of time. Where is Emma? Here. Wait a second. Yes. Uh, and Sarah logged in the most time, as I said. This is the kind of information that a dashboard is helpful for. Another way to dashboard can help is by adding multiple reports to a single dashboard. The process for that will be similar as as we still see the add panel option above. Yes. However, we will keep this task to a single report. Okay, we can flip the switch to dark theme and click save to save dashboard if we like it. This is how it will look when finished. Okay, let's go with dash or dark theme. Now let's complete these questions. Create a dashboard from web server log that shows status code in line chart. Which status code was observed for the least number of time? That's great. So first we will go to search actually and give it host equals web server. Then we are going to go stats count by wait a second. Hmm. Okay. Status code. Status code. Yes, there you go. Now let's save this report. This report shows, let's name it status code. This report lists the number of status code count. The status code by their count. Click save. No need to view. Now let's go to dashboard. Click. We will create a new dashboard again. Because this is a status code dashboard. Please show status code line chart. Visible to shared in apps, classic dashboard, create, go to add panel, new from status code, add. Where is the line chart here? The question says least number of, I would say 400 exactly. What is the name of the traditional Splunk dashboard builder? was the name of old dashboard, Splunk dashboard builder. Classic. Okay. Task 5 is alerting on high priority events. In the previous tasks, we practiced creating reports and dashboard. Yes, we understood that when we need to run a search repetitively, we can use reports, and if we want to club a few reports together or make visualization, we can use dashboards. Yes. However, reports and dashboards only will be viewed by user at set time intervals. Sometimes we want to be alerted if a certain event happened. Definitely, such as if the amount of failed login on a single account reaches a threshold. It indicates a brute force attempt. We would like to know as soon as it happens, right? In this task, we will learn how to set up alerts. Unfortunately, we cannot practice setting up alerts on the attached instance because of licensing issue. However, we will explain how to set up an alert in this task, right? So first we will run a search for our required search term. In the Save As drop-down, we will see an option for saving an alert. In the previous task, we identified that the user Sarah logged in the most during our time range. Therefore, let's narrow down our search to all the login events of the user Sarah. Great. Let's go and click alert. First, we need to write in query. Or I can just directly go with host VPN server definite. My bad. Host name was incorrect right now. Username equals Sarah. Great. Wait. Let's go to VPN user and Sarah. Click new search. Username Sarah. How to create alert. Okay, so it says here that we cannot run this it in the VM because of the licensing issue. Unfortunately, we cannot practice setting up alert in the attached VM. So we can just look into how we can set up here, right? So basically, we write a search here. Now, for example, uh, in this case, it is index summary, extracted host, VPN server, and username is Sarah. And then we'll click on the Save As button or the icon. Then click Alert. This will show up. Now I'll give the title, description, permissions, private or shared in app, alert type. So it should run every week, every hour, or it depend upon the um, it depends upon how much we want to run this query repetitively. Like if it is highly monitored task, we can run it every 2 hours, 3 hours, but it completely depends upon us, right? So we have expire in 24 hour, or we can set up different timestamps here. Trigger alert when number of result is greater than, for example, if Sarah logs in every day for 10 or 20 times, we can set up a threshold for 25 or 30. So if that numbers exceed 25 times, it will trigger this alert, right? We see the usual settings such as title, description, permission. In addition to that, we have some more options specific to alert. The alerts type we are setting up is scheduled. This means that Splunk will run the search as per the schedule. If the trigger condition is satisfied, an alert will be raised. Depending on the license and configuration for your Splunk instance, you might get an option for scheduling real-time alerts. Next, we have trigger conditions. Now, trigger conditions defines the condition when alert will be raised. Here, let's say we raise the alert when the login count of user is more than 5, right? In that case, we will use the number of result option and set the greater than option to 5. We can trigger 5 alerts for the 5 login attempts, or we can just trigger a single alert for exceeding this account. The throttle option let us limit the alert by not raising an alert in specified time period. If an alert is already triggered, this can help reduce the alert fatigue. The throttle option, great, which can overwhelm analysts when there are too many alerts. of course. The final option here is for trigger actions. This option allows us to define what automated steps Splunk must take when the alert is triggered. For example, we might want Splunk to send an email to SOC email account in the case of an alert. So these are the options: add to trigger alert, log event, output result to lookup, send email. Below we can see the configured alert. We have configured it to run every hour if Sarah logs in more than 5 times. So it runs every hour if the number of logged in attempt is greater than 5, right? Okay. The email will only be sent once a 60 minutes. So suppress trigger for 60 minutes. When triggered, send email. If the alert is triggered, Splunk will send email to soc@tryhackme.com. Priority given be the highest. Subject Splunk alert brute force attempt. Message: there was a brute force attempt for user Sarah. Great. So this email will be sent with the highest priority and will include subject and message mentioned above. So what feature can we use to make Splunk take some action on our behalf? Trigger action. This option allows us to define automated steps. It must be trigger actions. So which alert type will trigger the instant an event occur? Which alert type? Which alert type will trigger the instant an event occur? Wait, next is which option when enabled will only send a single alert. That is throttle. And which alert type will trigger the instant an event occur? Is greater than no. Schedule. Oh, you are sitting here, my friend. No. That means Splunk will. Then real time? Oh, yes, of course. Because schedule will run at a particular time if we want. I didn't get the question exactly. So the question is, as soon as an event occurs, it should trigger an alert. That is only possible if we have set up a alert on the real time basis. Great. Now we are concluding this room. That was a brief introduction to leveraging Splunk for a better data management by creating reports, dashboard, and alerts. In this, we learned why do we need to have data organization in Splunk? How can we create reports to schedule search, creating dashboard, setting up alert to get result for certain searches in our book. But that's not all Splunk has to offer for a security analyst. For learning more using Splunk to enhance security posture of your organization, check our rest of rooms in this module. Okay, sir. Thank you so